Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's Rabbi Stephen, Rav Shmuel ben Yehoshua, yes, Rashbi. Um, I forget what you call it when you have the first initials of a person's name and you put them together. What is it, an amalgam? Let me know if you know. Okay. So this week we are reading the portion of Vayishlach, and we'll get to that in a minute. But if you notice, this is going out a day early because Tuesday evening, which is the evening of the day that I'm sending this out, we are doing our first Torah study. Now, it seems that Tuesday is a good day for a lot of people, but it also unfortunately coincides with this book study that is going on at the moment for the next 3 weeks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the study at about 7:45. That way people that want to do the book thing can do that at 7, do that for 45 minutes, then we'll start about 7:45. And we'll go for about an hour, with the same hour that we'll go anyway. We'll just do it again 15 minutes later, so people can do both if they want to or not interfere. Also, that's in addition to the Thursday adult education that we've been doing. This week, we're going to take a little break from Pirkei Avot, and we're going to do a little bit of Hanukkah, and we'll have some songs, and we'll talk about the holiday. It's very interesting. There's some interesting nuances, like, for example, why is there no mention of the Maccabees anywhere in the Hebrew Scriptures? All right, we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Other than that, we are about, we're just very close. We're like a week and a half away from the holiday of Hanukkah. Can you believe it's coming up pretty soon? And we're going to have an event for that. I'm going to get some people together. Again, we'll do some songs, we'll do some Hanukkah lighting, and we'll do it on a Saturday night, December 12th. We'll do Havdalah, then we'll do a group, virtual group menorah lighting, and so get your menorah out. Okay, so let's talk about Parashat Vayishlach. So in our last portion, last week, Jacob and his family and his wealth was basically leaving the company of Laban, and he was going off to raise his own family. He had 2 wives, 2 maidservants, concubines or wives, depends on who you listen to, as how they describe them. He has as well 11 sons, 1 daughter. And he's going to have another son. The 12th son is about to be born on the way. So first, Jacob has to contend with some old business, or some karma, if you will, because Esau is after him. And Esau has said that he will not attack him while Isaac is alive, but Isaac's going to die. And Jacob's concerned, as he would be. So he stops and he does some reconnaissance, and he alights at a place that is going to be holy. He ends up fighting with a man. Now, in the Torah, it's described as a man, but the commentary is that he is fighting with Esau's angel. Now, the Israelites, we people of Israel, we have a direct relationship with Hashem. But all the other nations of the world also have a guardian angel. Esau, who is the father of Edom, who is the father of Rome and Europe, also had their angel. And as Jacob is wrestling with this man or this angel, it's kind of symbolic. It's kind of a metaphor that ultimately, Israel will prevail after the children of Edom attack us or fight us. Right? So, of course, it's coming to dawn, and the angel has to get back. And Jacob says, "Tell me your name." And the angel says, "No, I will not tell you my name, but I will bless you. And you will no longer be called Jacob. God will now start to call you Israel." Or, let's backtrack on that a little bit, because that's what happened with Abraham. Avram became Abraham. So the angel says, "You will be known as Israel." And it's kind of a precursor of what's to happen, because God still has to give him that name. And it's a very important name, because Jacob has the connotation of Ekev, which is heel, but it also has the connotation of deceit. Some people say, or clever, or outsmarting, something along that nature. Remember, ancient Hebrew is more connotation It's more of an idea rather than a denotation. That's why a word has a concept and it can mean different things. Like, for example, the word, his name, is Yisrael. Now, they say that it has the root of struggling and overcoming, and the idea is overcoming, but it also comes from the word prince, Yisra, Sarah. And what else? What other name sounds like Sarah? Sarah, his grandmother, right? So it's kind of the same idea. And the idea is that Jacob prevailed over this angel. So first, he has to deal with Esau. And he knows Esau's coming with him. His scouts have come back and told him that they're coming with 400 men, very armed. And Esau has thrived. God, part of the blessing is that you will thrive. And that's what he's done. Jacob has also thrived. So Jacob does three things, and the rabbis say that this is how we behave in the world. Okay, first of all, he prays to God. Now we've said over and over again, prayer is just a way, well, not just, but it's a way to inspire you, a way to get in touch with God. It's a lot of different things. It's a way to put you in that frame of mind that there are mitzvot that we're going to obey and do. Okay. But then Jacob also prepares a military situation. Okay. So he divides his family up and he puts them in the back. He puts his servants and himself in front so he could take the brunt just in case Esau is on the attack. That way his family will see it and they'll escape and they'll be safe. Okay. So he arms himself and he gets ready. But he also, here's the third thing, he sends a tribute to Esau saying, I know that there's bad blood between us and I don't want there to be. I've got this family now and I've thrived, so I'm giving you this gift. And I, I'm at a loss to name what he gave him, but it was a lot of animals: camels, donkeys, sheep, goats, wealth. I mean, just if he was able to give him this as a tribute, then you know that Jacob really thrived, that he's got a lot more. He did very well for himself in the company of Laban, and Laban, of course, did well for himself too. That's why in the last portion, he wanted him back, right? So he goes off, and Esau, interestingly enough, sees him, and they embrace. And there's the word in the Torah, Yishtachavu. It's got dots over it. Now, in the Torah, there are no nikud marks. There are no vowels. There's also no cancellations. It's just plain letters. Every now and then, there's a couple of deviations. One of the deviations is that there's dots over a word, which some people say is a staccato way of saying dot, 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 instead of just the regular cancellation. And we also know that there's some letters that are larger, some letters that are smaller. There's also another way of writing words. It's called Kariva Kativ. So you read it, but it's written differently. In this case, we have the dots over the word. Now, this is the word for when Esau weeps. And some sages say that the dots over the word weaken the word. So the weeping wasn't really sincere. And the way the interaction went, Jacob said, "Come on, take this. Take my tribute, please. It's a tribute to you. It's a way of me apologizing for having taken, the birthright." And Esau's like, "No, no, no, it's okay. I've got enough. I've got plenty." And Jacob's like, "No, I insist." And Esau's like, "Well, if you insist, sure." And some people say that this is just the way they do things, in the Middle East. First you want to be a little humble. And he goes off. Now, in a couple of minutes left, I want to leave this. I want to discuss this other situation that happens. They settle down, and Dinah, the only daughter among 12 brothers, and now it's 12 because on the way Rachel had Benjamin, her second son, and she died on the way. So now it's just Leah, and Zilpah and Bilhah have been elevated to be wives. So Dinah's got 12 brothers. She's the only girl. They're in Canaan. They're in Shechem. And they go out and she meets Shechem, it's the name of the place, name of the prince. And he sees her and he has his way with her. Yes, that's a euphemism. And then he decides he loves her, wants to marry her. And when the Shechemites see that they've got all this wealth, they say, wow, come with us, live with us, intermarry our daughters, willing to marry with your sons, et cetera, and we'll be one big family. And the sages say, they saw the wealth and they just wanted the wealth. So they have this plan because they know they're outnumbered. They say, okay, first you got to circumcise yourselves. And they say, yeah, let's circumcise ourselves. Big deal. It's not a big deal. And we'll have all this wealth. And the third day, when they're at their weakest, we know the story. Simeon and Levi go in and they slaughter all the men in their sleep while they're in pain. The rest of the brothers come in and they raid the camp. Now, were they right or were they wrong in what they did? Different people have different opinions. Some people think they were absolutely out of their minds to do this. They were definitely no right to do this. Other people say, of course, the Shechemites deserve this. Look at their morality. They attacked one of Israel. So you decide. Anyway, that's it for this week. Please join us Tuesday night at 7:45 with the book fair at 7. Then join us at 7:45 for our Torah study. Join us Thursday for a special adult ed about Hanukkah. And of course, we'd love to see you at services. And as always, I love your feedback. Please let me know if there's anything you'd like to see differently, anything you'd like to see more of, less of, or even if you like to see what you're saying. Shabbat shalom, and we'll talk to you soon.